In this video, you will see how to create and file a set of tax returns for a family. Let's get started by logging into Onvio. To create a tax project for a client, we use a project template. Let's open the T1 project template. You can configure the recurrence frequency and generation method for projects. This T1 project template has a due date of April 30th of each year. And new projects are created each year 4 months before the due date, or January the 1st. There are many options for automatically assigning staff to projects. Here we'll assign the staff member that is associated with the client of the project, and we'll save the changes. Before we can create the projects, we need to have the clients added to Onvio. In this case, we've already added the family head Julia Carter and the spouse Nicholas Carter. Let's take a look at Julia's information. In order for Julia to see her tax return once completed, we'll enable Client Center access for her. Julia will receive a registration email. Now we'll do the same for Nicholas. Since an email address hasn't been entered yet in the general information section, I'll add the email here on the fly. Onvio lets you set up various relationships between clients. Here we'll add the spousal relationship between Julia and Nicholas. Because Nicholas is already in Onvio, I can simply search for him. Julia and Nicholas have one child, Wayne. Let's add him now. We can now add the parent-child relationships. Onvio lets you add a new relationship to either one spouse or to both spouses at the same time. Relationships can be seen by clicking on the relationship icon for a client. You can see that Nicholas has a spouse and one child. Julia has the same thing. Wayne has two parents listed. Onvio lets you edit multiple clients at the same time. I'll add myself as the associate for all three of these clients. Now that we have the clients and project template set up, let's create a tax project for the family head, Julia. We'll select the T1 project template. Now we can open the tax project in Onvio Tax. We only have one tax project so far in this family. Let's create a tax project for the spouse, Nicholas. Now we'll create a tax project for their son, Wayne. All tax projects for the family have been created. Let's launch the project for Julia and start entering data. Some of the information has automatically been populated using the general client data we already entered into Onvio. Let's use the CRA's Autofill My Return service, or AFR, to add the data that the government has on file. This will save us from having to manually enter it. Onvio hides empty rows to make it easier to review the AFR data. Once the data has been retrieved from the CRA, it will be displayed in Onvio on the right-hand side of the screen. Onvio provides various tools for matching AFR data with the production data on the left. The AFR data is not part of the tax data of a project until you transfer it into the project. Now we'll switch to the data entry of Nicholas. We'll use the CRA's AFR service to retrieve his tax data. After reviewing the data, I'll transfer it into the project. Now we'll repeat the process for Wayne, their son. Wayne doesn't have any tax data, so we won't bother using the CRA's AFR service. Let's take a look at the Review tab and see what we have so far. Since Wayne has no income, it is saying that we'll need to indicate that in the data entry. We'll do that now using the search feature. Let's return to the Review tab and see how things look. Onvio is reporting that the e-file information has not been set up. Because this is a new Onvio firm, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Let's do it now. Now that that's done, let's return to the Data Entry tab and enter some additional tax data. We'll use the search feature again, this time for childcare expenses. We have the option to include location information in the search results. This can be useful when the same type of data could be entered in multiple different locations. We can use the search feature to find out where to enter medical data for Nicholas. I'll use the row menu to add an additional row. Let's see how things look on the Review tab now. There are now no errors for any family member. Let's take a look at a few of the actual tax forms. It's time now to go to the File Return tab and file the tax returns. Onvio Tax lets you request e-signatures from clients for selected tax forms. Here we'll request it for the T183. One place to see the e-sign status is on the Project Properties page. Once the T183 has been e-signed by the client, the status will be automatically updated. The status now shows that the T183 has been e-signed by the client. It is now time to e-file Julia's tax return. It's been accepted by the CRA. We'll repeat the process for Nicholas. His return has also been accepted. Wayne, their son, has no income, so we won't file a return for him. You can easily open Onvio documents for the family member that you are currently working on by clicking the Documents icon at the top of the page. Onvio Tax automatically saves a snapshot of the tax return to Onvio documents at the time it is electronically filed. To make navigation easy, you can use either thumbnails of the pages or browse through a table of contents of the pages. Let's return to Onvio Tax. You can also access the client dashboard of the family member that you are currently working on by clicking the icon in the header. This can be useful if you need to send an email to the client or want to consult previous billing information. New in Onvio Tax are indicators that let you easily see whether or not Client Center has been activated for each family member. Also new is the ability to designate one member of the family as the Tax Matters contact. This is useful if only one family member has access to Client Center. The person can upload and download tax documents on behalf of the other family members and see their tax returns. Once a Tax Matters contact has been assigned, an icon will appear next to that family member. For more information on Onvio Tax, please visit the Onvio booth.